Right, just a quick one then, looking at the Bitcoin dominance chart, which is here. We're on the 4 hourly, so we're having a little bounce on here, which is actually much lower than we expected it to go, so it looks like there's probably going to be a bit more going on for altcoins in there, well, for the rest of the week, I would say, because what we're looking at here is actually a death cross forming on the 4 hourly chart. Clearly we're not going to be having one on the daily chart. Still very, very bullish on the daily chart, but we do have a bend now taking place on that 50 exponential. But what we're looking at here is actually really interesting and pretty much a certainty. There's no chance that Bitcoin is going to be bumping up to this level anytime soon, so this death cross is going to play out, and when a death cross plays out, we're looking for a major retracement. If we can get down to below 67, ideally below 66, it's going to be absolutely phenomenal for alts. It's going to be an absolute mad run, way more than I expected. And now we're looking on this chart here, which is the crypto dominance chart, not dominance, the crypto total market cap excluding Bitcoin, and again only on the 4 hourly we're having a golden cross. So it looks like the tides are turning way earlier than I expected. We go to the daily chart on this and we can see it's still pretty bearish. Still pretty bearish. Actually finding rejection on this 200 EMA, which is kind of normal. It's what we expect. But for whatever reason, if we can break above this area on the daily chart, there's a good chance that this would actually turn to a if it's a big candle close, not just a little wick like this, a candle close on the daily above this area here. We could be in for a true alt season. I mean, I know that we're looking at sort of alts pumping at the moment. You could call that an alt season already, but this would really be something special. I didn't think we were going to be seeing anything special until November, and the reason I say that is that these two needed to reverse their trend really, and that would really sort of spark something special. But at the moment, you know, this isn't what I expected. I thought that we were going to bounce from this area, which we did. We bounced, but I thought we were going to break down from it, come down to test this area down here. But we didn't. So it's, you know, this year the crypto market has just been crazy. I mean, Bitcoin just flew much faster than I thought it was going to do. I knew it was going to go, but I didn't realise it was going to go to the extent it did. So it looks like perhaps, you know, when it comes to market cycles, things are moving in a different way than they do normally, and a much more sort of, I guess, it's like the crypto market on steroids. So it looks like my computer's just frozen, which is a real shame. So I'm going to leave this video for you now. Oop, let's come back. Alright, as it's come back, we'll have a quick look at Bitcoin, and I'll show you something that I've been looking at, which is the Ichimoku cloud. We're looking at it on the daily chart. We're beneath the red here, the red cloud. Looks like we have an incoming cross. It's very small, you might not be able to see it, but you see my mouse cursor, that blue line there, that's the conversion line. This is the baseline, the red one. If this makes a cross, that's a strong sell signal on a generally bearish trend, and the Ichimoku clouds are very good at spotting trends, and this has certainly been a long-term trend. We've been in this since July, now this descending trend since July, so a few months have gone by now, and it's clearly been descending the whole way. It's consolidating clearly from such a big run that we've had, but like I say, it's a trend which I would trust the Ichimoku cloud to have got this one right. We've been bouncing, rejected from these major areas here, and now we're getting closer and closer as the days continue to, even if we were just to trade sideways, we're going to be rejected from it, I would expect, or we could break above it, but there would be a monumental break. It'd have to be, and if it did break above this, it'd have to break above not just this line, but it'd have to break through this cloud, which is in itself a resistance point, and then obviously this blue box territory that we have, that we've had, you know, serious rejections from as well. So, you know, this and even this one here, I mean, this is all opportunities for it to be rejected, all of this. So there's so many resistances above it that it would have to really push through all of these, and if it did, it would be bullish as hell. But the likelihood is it's probably going to break down, because we've got all these indicators suggesting we're coming down. Well, it looks like we're going to have a cross on the MACD, going beneath the 0 point. It looks pretty bearish to me. So I think you know, if I was to put my money on it, which clearly, you know, I will be, I'm going to be a bear, and I'll be a bear for quite a while actually, because when this does break down, there'll be incremental steps on the way down. You know, we'll be bouncing from this 10,000 area like we have been doing anyway. But once that breaks down, you know, we'll be down to this area, 9,600. Around 9,500 would be a decent support for it. But if that breaks down, then it would really be down to 9,200 to 9,000. And then we've only got these guys here to hold us up, which are the 200 EMA and the 200 simple. Both of which, well, I mean, they're both quite steep. They are looking steep. But if this breaks down to this level, then they won't be steep at all. They'll be evening out and maybe even bending down, which would mean a reversal in overall trend. Now, I don't mean that when I say that, I don't think we're going to be coming down to revisit these levels, even though that could be a possibility. I think that's unlikely. I think we're more likely to find our way to the 6,000 area, where we had so much support on the previous collapse from last year. That's more likely to be between 6 and 7,000 is probably the more likely area where we would probably find a significant bounce from, and then maybe we'll start to work our way back up. Anyway, moving on from that, we have been looking at altcoins. You don't need me to tell you that they've been bullish, and the reason they've been bullish is because the dominance chart has collapsed, and the total market cap excluding Bitcoin has been making significant gains. So the money is flowing out of Bitcoin and into altcoins, and it looks like it's going to continue doing this. So the first sign I saw of this was with EOS. It appeared to be the first of the major alts to make those moves. I would take this off to start with. So before anybody else did, it did start to make some decent moves, but now it's sort of consolidating, you could say. When we saw it make when I saw it make this move, I was ready for this second one here, which is where I bought it from, when it was touching this 200 EMA. And then I was lucky enough to get right in on this one, sold it around here, and I've been sort of scalping the market a little bit with it. But at the moment, I kind of expect it to consolidate a little further, or maybe for a little longer. But again, looking at these charts here, I might be proven wrong. This, like I said, we have been rejected from this area here, and this area here as well. $4.20, I'd say, is where we're likely to be rejected from again. But if we were to break above there and close above there, especially on a daily close, then we're going to be bullish, and I'd be bullish all the way up to this one to start with, which would be $4.50 or $4.52. And if for whatever reason that breaks, and we can push above there, then we're really going to be making some big moves. $5 and perhaps more, but that's a long way off. But it might not be that far off, to be honest with you. But yeah, so it's a bit overstretched. My personal target would be this $4.52 to start with. I'd certainly look at placing a long up to there and closing it at this area, and see where we go from there. On the other hand, smaller alts, such as, I haven't got the chart up, I'm not going to get it up now, but things like Matic and these IEO coins and the small cap coins, they are going to find their pumps. They certainly will find their pumps, but the way that alt season sort of works is the stronger alts move first, and we've seen that over the last few days, last week to the last few days now. They will continue to pump, and then the smaller alts will pump after that, and usually when they pump, they do pump harder. They make bigger gains than these ones. So if you can imagine that, I think we are looking to continue this rally with the altcoins, provided this dominance chart sort of breaks down a bit more. It'll be a bit of a rocky road, I think, because I am expecting Bitcoin to break down, and that will certainly impact the rest of the alts as well. But the way that these charts are set up at the moment on the 4-hourlies would suggest that Bitcoin dominance is going to recede, and the crypto market cap excluding Bitcoins, all alts combined, will actually form a golden cross on this 4-hourly, which is all very positive for alts and pretty bad for Bitcoin. Anyway, I'm going to leave it with you there. Thanks for bearing with me. I hope you have a nice evening. Take care.